everything. You mentioned that we must know the image of the Prophet ﷺ. So why is it prohibited to have images of the Prophet ﷺ? Because why? I mean, you read something like Ong's book, you'll understand what the printed word does. When they say like a word, like a picture speaks 1,000 words. You see, like words or pictures forms by their innate nature, they begin to limit something that wasn't limited in that way in the first place. Because each and every single one of us, when we all to read the description of the Prophet ﷺ and master them in knowledge, that each and every single one of us possibly could manifest that in a different way. And ordinarily that different way is going to be a projection of our soul onto the Messenger of God sallallahu alaihi wasallam. An example which I always found funny was an individual, a Dajjal. He was a Dajjal, one of the liar prophets. The Prophet I'm told would come. His name was Dr. York. Yeah, he was a doctor. I don't know if he was from York, but he lived in Brooklyn, New York. Maybe that's why he called himself Dr. York. And he found a cult called the Ansar cult. Ansar cult. Any of our youngsters who were into rap music, if you look at the rap music of the 90s, of the 80s and the 90s, it was heavily influenced by this cult rap music, when rap music was supposed to be conscious. And they called out this Dr. York, who had a proper religious sect. And if you saw them in the streets of Brooklyn, New York, they dressed just like Sunni Muslims. They had turbans and thobes, and they had scarves, and they would, Assalamu alaikum, brother. And you could be fooled, and many were fooled to think that these were the real deal. But they were Dajjals, they were liars. Okay? Anyway, Al-Kulliha, in one of his books, I read his works, Dr. York, in one of his books, Dr. York had a picture that only he had access to of all of the prophets. And it's funny, why? Because all the prophets look like him. Every single one, the prophets look like him, Jesus looked like him, Moses looked like him. They all look like him. You see, that is just a lie, obviously, but there's an element of truth in that. What's the element of truth? That Allah has prohibited images for a reason, so we can relate to the prophets. Because with the Prophet ﷺ, the colour of the Prophet, like an example, Abyad. What's the colour of the Prophet ﷺ? White. That's the colour. Abyad. Mushawwash bil humra, that had redness, tinges of redness in it. What does white mean? Example, if you study logic, the science of mantiq, logic, really important science in Islam, logic, they speak about words that have a definitive meaning. I use a word, it means what it says. And words that have multiple shades of meaning. They can mean many different things. When they demonstrate a word that has multiple shades of meaning, the example they use is white. That's in the books of our logic, like Isa Ghoshi and the Sunnah and the Munarak. These great books we study in logic in Islam. That they're going to show you a word that has multiple meanings is white. And I experienced, I was in Mauritania. I was in Mauritania once. I was there with a few brothers, some people like Yahya Rodis and others. We were in Mauritania, we were trying to build our tents in Mauritania. You have to go to the village, you have to buy all your wood and your material, not your wood, your material and all the stuff you need. Go back to the desert and then begin to construct your own tent you're going to live in. So we were there in a marketplace. So I'm there negotiating with this Mauritanian woman for some material. And she's striking a hard deal. So I've got to show that I'm from Liverpool and Scousers don't take their pennies lightly. So then I started to negotiate a lot harder. And then she started asking, where are you from? So I started the conversation. And then I said, what about you? And she said, well, I'm so-and-so, and I'm white. That's what she said. I'm not Baydani, she said. I said, no, you're not white. You're not white, believe me. She said, I'm not Baydani. And she kept on, I said, no, you're not white. Let's be Baydani. You're not white. And she kept on saying, and she starts getting mad. I'm not Baydani. She starts getting really mad. And at this moment, like my friend Yahya Rodis, he walked past, and I said, Uncle, who are Baydani? That's white. She goes, who are Laysa Baydani? Who are Nasrani? No, he's not white, he's a Christian. That's what she said. That's not white. This is white, what I look like, which was what we'd call in our society black. But in their society, she was just lighter than black people, so she's white. So the point being is that the Prophet ﷺ being white is a beautiful description of him. Okay, it's very beautiful because it allows every civilization has white people. And although he's not like all of those white people, but at least gives them something they can relate to with regards to the Messenger of God, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Pictures would destroy that, like it destroyed Jesus. when they painted Jesus, many cultures found that good reason to reject the blessed messenger of Jesus, the son of Mary, alayhi salam. I read the Quran more easily in phonetic English. I doing Arabic. Is this wrong?